All right, peace, love, and growth, family. I am Holly Kali, back with another episode of Say That. Thank you for watching The Rise. Today we discussing the future of Black people. You know, we going through a lot. It's been a lot of ups and downs, and a lot of changes. You feel me? If y'all will go ahead and introduce yourself, we'll start with Neb Jari. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself and where you're calling from.
I am Neb Jari from Arizona. Representing.
Peter from Arizona. I'm Regina. Well, Gina from Washington. Well, I'm really from Alabama, but I live here in Washington.
Dirty South.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Roll Tide.
that crimson.
Keita, where are you from? Are you from Arizona or where? I know you live out there, but where are you from?
Arizona, born and raised.
Born and raised in Arizona? Okay, dope. All right, so one of the first questions I asked, and I'm going to start with you again, Neb Jari, is from our current circumstances, what do you see as the future for Black people? Like, as far as if things are continuing from what you see today, where would you see our future being?
Can you be a little bit more specific? Like, are you asking, are we doomed or?
Yeah, I mean, because we're gonna go deeper. We're gonna go deeper into specifics, but I'm just asking, just in general, right now, of why. Of where you see it, as far as what you see with social media, with people in general. What do you see as coming?
Well, for me, I can't say Black people as a whole. I can say Black people, the ones who are more educated about the world. But the people who just probably just stay in their neighborhood or don't really travel too much, they probably don't. The people who kind of travel and go back and forth and do it.
Hold on, I can't really hear what you're saying. Hold on. What'd you say?
I think as Black people as a whole, like in the United States, I see it a little bit different, except for individuals. I pretty much see like Black people as like certain individuals are going to make it, but as far as like as a whole, there's too many that's not really, they're not going to make it. No.
Keita, how do you feel about how do you feel our future is coming based on what you see now?
Yeah, as a people, we are doomed. The individuals will survive, but as a people, we are doomed. We don't have our own anything at all. Banking, military, zilch. The world left us behind a long time ago.
I want to say, maybe some of us, as far as like children, if you have any nieces or nephews and you can get them into certain things like technology, we're way behind. It's like when you start speaking about technology, it's like you might as well be speaking to the boogeyman to certain people. So we're far behind on academics and things like that. I see our past generations now, like more people like to do something that's, to me, I call it forms of masturbation, whether it's, anything that has to do with you not progressing. And people like to masturbate a lot, whether it's just bullshit around or party or blow your money, whatever it is to constantly make you feel good instead of actually being good. So that's how I see us as being doomed. I mean, if you live in the United States, I think you're doomed because that's pretty much what's, the majority of the people with money are stars, and stars to me are not important. And that's where people, like Michael Jackson, that's a great man. Oprah Winfrey, great. But these people make their money out of entertainment, and they're not really people of true wealth. And so this is what, to me, most of the majority of people follow. Like they follow people who are entertainment and stars and things like that. They really don't have any true importance on the planet. And so Kardashians, all that. So I don't, there's a lot of reasons why I say we're doomed, but that's pretty much a big one. Is like we're like a big group that like to mentally masturbate or masturbate in certain ways that don't benefit us at all, and we love to brag about it.
All right. Gina, let me ask you how you feel about our future as a black people from what you see now.
I pretty much feel like we are doomed because I wouldn't call it I see how you use the word term masturbation, but I just call it being complacent. We get complacent with where we're at and we don't know how to progress. Like I've had 3 people come here to Washington to try to progress, but they can't. They're just trapped in the ways of Alabama, what's going down there, and they love that. So then we can't see the bigger picture. We just can't seem to come together, or we have that crab pot syndrome going on where we're all fighting to get somewhere, but we're not getting anywhere. Or buying J's every Saturday is more important than having a car or owning land. You have 500 pair of J's, but you don't even own the house that you live in or the land that you live on. So where are we progressing at? Everybody else comes here and they can come together and do things, but we seem to can't get that point, or we're just still stuck or oppressed, I guess, what you can call it.
Got you. All right. Let me ask you: do you feel like welfare, and just not necessarily welfare, but government assistance and stuff like that, certain programs? Do you feel like that's dangerous for us as a community, or do you feel like we should be happy that that's available?
I feel like it's dangerous. You have generations of people that just live off of welfare. They don't want to move out of the projects. They love it. I got $20 rent. I'm cool. Like, this is a life, but they don't want to progress at all. I really think they should cut it out, or drug tests, or make you do like other people have to do. Like for work source up here, you have to look for a job in order to get paid unemployment. So I think that that's what they should do for welfare.
Keita, how do you feel?
I pretty much agree with Gina says. It's not helping us at all. It's aiding us to just be lazy and not do anything, not stand up and stick up for what we need to be doing. And it is, like she said, generation after generation. So it's just passed down. So we're not getting anywhere with it.
So, Nebjari, is welfare dangerous, or should we be happy that it's available?
I have mixed feelings about it. There's people that actually need assistance or certain types of assistance. There's corporations, huge, worth billions of dollars that get welfare, what we call loans and bailouts. So it depends on how you look at it and the mindset. I want to say, the well, and not to mention like 90% of the people. I don't know what the percentage is, but in the United States, most of the people that get welfare are white.
Right.
So if you're speaking from the stigmatism of black people on welfare, then maybe that's a different, But for me, I look at it like I said, when you travel places, you kind of been, you kind of understand things a little bit different. Well, for me, not saying that it's better, but a bailout, a corporate bailout is welfare, and I mean, I'd rather have that money, or I'd rather have that money to go to a sister that needs it. I don't care. A person who gets welfare is not a threat to me or anybody. But the guy that works in Washington or works in Congress or something, they could stick us with a $20 million bill for signing over our names to a prison that we don't own, but the state has to pay money to because they don't fill them up. So we get money stolen. The same people that's in the communities that's on welfare, they pay taxes like everybody else on whatever money they do, whatever. But that's someone who's earning, I don't know what the welfare rate is, but someone that's earning like $13,000 to $18,000 a year is not a threat to me compared to a man who's in a suit who could steal like millions from us out of the communities that has a welfare that nobody owns the land because they're on welfare. So I don't. It depends. And like I said, there's corporate bailouts and there's all types of welfare. It depends on how you look at it in your mindset. But yeah, I wouldn't want roaches either. Like the sister was talking about. No, I don't. I know what she's saying. She's talking about people. The stereotypical people that are complacent. They have like 6 kids, keep popping out babies, or the 20. Like she said, the $20. I know it was that cheap. I thought it was
Yeah.
$50. And I understand, but
Well, see, I never lived on welfare. I don't know how much it costs, but like my mother,
it's
yeah, like we lived on assistance, and my mom got food stamps, but it's because she has a disability, so therefore she
right.
needed it. But like you have these able-bodied people that can get up. Like I have siblings that could have done the same thing that I did and be where I'm at, but they just choose not to do so. The government's gonna take care of me, or I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I work a little bit. I don't want to work too much because if I work too much, they cut off my assistance. And I think that's how they kind of trap you. Or if you can't have two working adults in your household, so a woman has to be like, you know what? I'm sorry, you can't stay here. We can't be together because they're gonna cut off my assistance. So I think they kind of trap us in that mindset, and it's really bad for us when a lot of us don't even know, like, oh, back in the day we had Black Wall Street and we had these things and we had black people actually doing stuff. Welfare system was not for us. It was not created for us. We just end up taking advantage of what was offered to us.
I want to say this though. Like there's the WIC program and things like that, which the government didn't. In fact, the government invented welfare. I think, yeah, the Black Panthers and black people themselves invented per se welfare. It was part of the community. So that's what I'm saying. Like today, the stigmatism to it, and it's considered because it can tell it's a handout from the government. But what I'm saying to you, sister, is I agree with you. What I'm saying is lazy people are lazy people. Whether they
Right.
receiving welfare assistance or they just want to sit around and smoke weed all day. Lazy person is a lazy person. So I know I'm saying I agree with what you're saying, but again, to me, it's just a perspective that you speak from. I had plenty of friends I grew up with. I didn't grow up on welfare, but they had welfare. They would get home. I'm sorry, we would get to school, and I didn't know they didn't eat at home sometimes. I didn't the ones that tear out the book. I didn't know food stamps ran out, or the mom would spend the food stamps and they have nothing to eat, and the only meal they got was extra.
Right.
So yeah, like yeah, people get trapped in a loop or whatever, but I don't know what the other person or why that person is on welfare or not. I used to have a stigmatism growing up, oh, people on welfare living in PJs and all that, But then when you around those people, around certain people, meet them and work with, you get the they may not be drug addict. Like you said, their mother may be on disability. Maybe for example, for me, mother in a wheelchair, wearing a cap, what I'm saying, can't go to the bathroom like she wants to. Now you have a person who's barely 10 years old that has to cater to their mom.
You breaking a little bit. You breaking up a little bit on my line. Gina, is it breaking up on yours or is that just my phone?
No, it's breaking up. Like it's going in
Yeah,
and out a little bit.
yeah, you breaking up over there.
Is it still going in and out?
No, I can
I
hear
hear
you
you
clear
now.
now.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, it's just point of view and circumstance.
I completely agree. Like I don't agree with like how the tax thing where they're trying to take money from the poor. We gonna take the cuts from the poor, but we gonna give the cuts to the people that's out here making all this money. I don't agree with that,
Right,
and I kind of see the angle, but it's just like they already making all this money. Why do we need the cuts also? Like, what sense does that
correct.
make? But it's like I think I seen like this article where they found out in Ohio that it was like a shitload of white people stealing food stamps. Like they were really like just getting
Yeah,
all the stamps. And I'm like, well, damn, it is funny to me because like when I come across certain posts about welfare and stamps, you always see people like, oh, black people this or black people that, they're taking over. But it's really not us that's taking over or getting over on the system. Some of us do need help, but for those that don't need it, like let's get out here, let's make this money, let's build our communities, let's do for our people because there's no reason why in Tacoma I can ride down one street and it's a street full of Asians. They got banks and everything.
right,
Well, we don't have that.
right. You know what? The question I asked. when they try to, especially when white people say something about food stamps, the first thing I ask them, where do black people spend their food stamps? I don't hear you talking about that. It's funny how like you'll point the finger, but but you accept the money, don't you?
Let's ask this question: how many people of us? How many of us know? How many of us know somebody that out there that sells food stamps? So, all right. So here's my thing about the whole thing. This is why I asked that. Is because it's like it creates an environment to where you're dependent upon the system. You know what I mean? You're like, well, I don't have to work. I could just get food stamps. I don't have to take care of my family. I don't have to work hard to stay with my husband or whatever because I'm going to have child support. I'm going to have something here to back me up, whether I care, whether I do good or not. You know what I mean? Like I know someone specific. I'm not going to say their name, but has never had a job in her life. You know what I mean? But she's able to have apartments. She loses them because she's not, responsibly taking care of her opportunity. But you know what I'm saying? Always been able to have apartments and all that, which is great because I feel like kids should have a safe environment and have somewhere to live. But at the same time, I feel like it's kind of dangerous because it's building laziness. It's like, you know what I mean? Like I don't have to do shit. You know what I'm saying? I could just have everything I want given to me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be out here working. I don't have to sit here and write a goal book and make plans for the future. And
right.
You know what I mean? Think about what I'm going to do 10 years from now. I don't have to think about that because the government got me, and then that's very dangerous because as soon as they snatch that rug from up under you, then
what are you going to do?
You know what I'm saying? So that's
and even the perspective of on what you were saying that you can't have two working people in that household. The effect that it did to our black families. You couldn't have the daddy in the house, like, or he had to hide, or he just couldn't be there.
Women got to pack his clothes up the night before. They're doing an inspection tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden,
that sounds like a pro.
All of a sudden, they came with this independent black woman thing, and it's like, like. I personally don't feel like you can say you're an independent black woman if you're on Section 8 or any type of government assistance. You know what I mean? Because you're not independent. Someone else is paying for that. And then also being a dad, you usually have to pay for all that shit that the government is taking.
You gotta
know
pay
what I'm
it
saying?
back.
Really, the dad is paying for all that shit. You saying he ain't shit, he ain't here, but he the one that is supposed to be paying that. Not to say.
Oh no, he's gonna have to pay it though.
Yeah, or go to jail or whatever. They're gonna find a way to get it up out of him. They're gonna garnish his check, whatever. But he's actually the one that's paying for all that. So how are you independent and saying that nigga ain't shit?
Yeah.
And that's not even counting the kids that's in the dads that's in their kids' lives. I'm just saying, just in general, of someone that pays child support. You know what I mean? And females that don't have a job, ain't never worked, but you're out here claiming that you're independent and you do everything yourself when obviously you don't.
Or I don't know. A lot of things that bother me is like I worked hard, to get to where I'm at, but I'll see people like you on straight Section 8, your hair is laid, like nails done. I'm like, damn, I really got to work hard to get there. But a lot of people don't care. They just like, well, whatever. I'm gonna just beat the system, get over it. It is what it is. But they don't see the bigger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Like there could be a lot more for us if we really would do what we need to be doing.
So another question I want to ask y'all, and since it's only a little of us, I'll let whoever go. We ain't got to go in no specific order. But what can we do to prevent single family homes in the black community? What can we do? I mean, of course, it's some obvious things, and of course, we all have our things. But I just want to know personal opinions. What do y'all feel is some things we can do to prevent single family homes from here, starting now?
Improve the relationship between the black man and the black woman. To me, it is sad just seeing how many single mothers just is around. I'm like, y'all couldn't do the counseling thing, like y'all couldn't work it out. And it's not necessarily a situation where, he was like beating on her. There was, abuse. I don't know. We really, the black man and the black woman, like we really need to start loving each other and, being more patient and, being there for each other. The relationship is just it's horrible. I don't see it. It's just getting worse. It's what I see.
Gina?
I pretty much don't know how to make it better. I, I don't even know. Like that's just
All right. I
I don't
mean,
know.
it ain't gotta be
I
the.
don't
It
know.
ain't, look,
Like I don't know how. I think I guess it's like a lack of like I didn't have my parents in the same household, so I don't know how that's supposed to work. You know, but I try hard. You know, I really tried to have my kids have the same parents in the their parents in the household, but their dad just had other plans. He wanted to do what he wanted to do, and that's what it was. But
I
I
say it like this though. Look, the questions are not coming as far as what's the one specific thing. It's just what's an addition. Let's do it like a math problem. What's one thing we can add to building black relationships? Maybe that's a better
So,
question. What's the thing we can add on to building black relationships?
code of conduct. First of all, some type of culture, and inside that culture, there's codes. And I keep saying this over and over. Black people in America don't have no culture. They have a
we
structure,
lost it.
seems like a culture, and but I think the only blacks that had culture was maybe 40, 50 years ago you know what I'm saying, like your grandmother and great, they had a code of conduct. Black people had a code of conduct amongst each other, a little bit different, and that was a little bit more culturable. Now it's like anybody just go with you. It's kind of like now you watch TV and you pick and choose what personality you just want to be like, and then you try to impose that on other people, and y'all both fake as fuck. Versus like there's, you know what I'm saying, like there's no like when you ask a person, did you watch your grandmother cook in the kitchen or something? Or you're supposed to get your attitudes and your mannerisms, your ways from that. But then that's been tainted, hence the term angry black woman and all that. So it's like,
That brings up a point right there, though. You said, like, did you watch your grandmother cook in the kitchen?
yeah, that's a culture. That's how
Nowadays, half of them, grandma is still doing what they doing. They in the
shake.
club, and
Yeah,
that's
Yeah, a
how
lot of
shit.
grandmothers are not grandmothers. They're like 39 to
Mhm.
50. Like I watched as a kid, I did watch both of my grandparents. Like they were together before, yeah, they both passed away, but they were together over 60 years. They had their issues, but they just still stayed together.
right.
I seen a shift in grandparents. I definitely seen that.
It's not
Just
the
like,
same.
yeah.
I think maybe we just
Coming
need to
back though,
show
this
maybe
already
our kids love. You know, like we all just need to we don't there's a lack of seeing black people come together and do things. Like today I was at the lake, nothing but white people together, getting in, partying, doing their thing, but there was like maybe our black family and then another one. We're just not out here doing stuff together. Like when I first moved to Washington, I was confused. I wanted to know where the black people were. I didn't see any black people
Right.
besides the ones that were in the army with me. But other than that, I was like, where the black people at? We're not out here. So it took me some years to see that we're out here, but we just don't really come together. We do more hating on each other than bringing each other together. We need to see that love. It should be taboo to see black love on social media.
Exactly.
All right. So another question I got for y'all is, we know it's already like a minimum standard of black people going to prison, just period. Like, automatically niggas is going to jail. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, as far as those one or two, what's something we can do to prevent our brothers and sisters from going to prison?
Again, code and culture, but um, last week, Keita mentioned like a rites of passage. To me, for a young man to go through a rites of passage is a good, clear kind of pathway to get a clear understanding of where you fit in the world, what you need to do. When a child, young man, get his first kill, that's a different mindset he's going to develop than trying to push a broom or a piece of paper or just go outside and play and you become this docile child, you become a docile man, you know. And I think that's one of the first things you probably learn how to do is when you're young is you need to learn how to kill. You need to learn, not, feel however you want to feel about it, but you need to learn how to,
Survive.
yeah, well, what I'm saying, you need that instinct. What I've learned is here in the United States, black people don't have that survival instinct. Only like the hustlers have it. Street niggas have it. You know what I'm saying? Like them hung. You know what I'm talking
Like
about? Like
any
that.
means necessary.
people that have that are a different type of people than somebody that grew up kind of cozy and like you were talking about earlier. Somebody used the word complacency. Being complacent and kind of that's a different person. But that cat that's hungry, that those people that's hungry, that's gonna get it, and if they fall down, they can get back up. You can't just that type of people. Those type of people. That's a different type of person or people than somebody who figure, well, I'm gonna make 100,000 a year because I got my degree, and you better be paying me. Then that other person's like, man, fuck that. I'm just gonna get mine. I'm gonna hustle. I'm gonna do whatever. And if I gotta wear Chuck Taylors instead of Jordans, or if I gotta, but that mentality of I guess that's what I'm saying. That mentality of hunger, you need that. You need that early as possible, because if you don't have that, you're not gonna survive.
I think if you grow up in an area that doesn't have that and you don't see that, then that's where it comes in at. Like if you don't see, I don't see my dad as a go-getter, so I'm not gonna be a go-getter. For what? I'm gonna survive, like I'm gonna live like how he lived. He living. I don't have to be a go-getter. If you don't see it as children, they're not gonna get it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean it's like programming. It's like whatever is embedded in you, because we all see a little bit of everything, but what you see on a consistent basis is what you become more comfortable with. And it's like, if you see somebody just comfortable living their life not doing shit, then you feel comfortable the same way. But if you see somebody that's like, man, I gotta get it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I gotta have $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Legit, legally, not hurting nobody by helping people. Then it's gonna start feeding off on you. You know what I mean? And that's the same thing that I feel we need to do with our children. Just like with my kids, like I let them know, like pretty much whatever you want, you can have, but you still gotta respect, who you are, who I am, and you know what I mean, all that. But at the same time, you can have whatever you want. You know what I mean? Even it's gonna come a time to where I can't even stop you from having whatever you want. And can't nobody stop you. So I want you to learn that now. And learn that you don't have to be focused on living on how everybody else is saying you should live. You know what I mean? Because not everybody knows what's right. Like shit. I was about to go into religion, but I ain't even gonna take it there. That's just where that took me. But y'all already know. But since we ain't got nobody here religious to defend themselves, I'm not gonna go there. But yeah. Anyway. So another question.
I don't know what you was gonna say.
I don't even remember. And it wasn't. I don't know. It's just like it's just kind of pointless. Like all of us here, we all understand it. So it'd have been like like preaching to the choir type stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it would feel better if I had somebody here that'd be like but it wasn't nothing big, nothing major. Another question is should we be?
Hey, before you ask the other question, but still on that question, before you go to your next question, we're criminalized as well. So what are we going to do with that? They criminalize the Japanese with opiates. They criminalize the Mexicans and us with weed. We're criminalized because of our skin color. So
that's actually part of the reason why I did ask the question is because what are we going to do about that? Like, for one thing, I feel we should learn more about law and how to represent ourselves, because it's like we have lawyers and all type of people that's part of that bigger agenda, like you was just saying, and they don't have no plan to help us. You know what I'm saying? But
it's about the money for them.
Let me ask you this real quick.
Don't realize
how many of you know any Jews that went to jail? How many of you knows that Jews that go to jail? And what I'm saying is, again, like I was saying, culture and code of conduct. If I was to run through a line of list of things, like the question I just asked you, how many Jews that go to jail or stay in jail? They're lawyers or they're part of some other. So that's what I'm saying. Look at all the groups.
If they in jail, it's for a reason. Somebody specifically wanted them there.
Exactly. Or watch this. How many Asians or any other groups you see in jail?
Not really.
See where I'm going? So your culture matters. If you don't have a culture, and what I mean by that, it's something that you practice inside amongst each other that white people or any other people don't even know about. But see,
they have different court systems. Like even with like Chinese people and stuff like that. That's why they got like Chinatown and all that. Like they're not even operating on the same. Like the military, for example, they have a completely different court system.
Oh no, I know, but that's what I'm saying. But that's my point, because They are made regardless of their numbers their cultures are respected. As a black person, you are not respected, then your culture is not respected. Understand that you're exploited. You're on TV, Michael Jackson, Jordan. Look at him hoop. Look at that nigger. That's all they do. But they don't do that to other people except for a short period or a short and small burst. They do it to you. They do it to black folks all day long with no what do you call it uh nobody says anything about it. There's no combat. Just, oh, you doing that to us? You calling us niggas again? It's like, wow. So go back earlier where she was talking about no military. Most of the stuff we talking about is not going to be possible, like, unless, it's all out of war. We're behind enemy lines. It's like, to me, as long as you understand that, that's different. You have a totally different mindset. So until we get a military, it's like most of the stuff we do is talk about. It's kind of, what's the word, moot. It's great to think about it, but to me, it's still like it's still kind of masturbating. I want to use that term, mentally masturbating. Like, it's a great subject matter, but if we don't practice something amongst ourselves, and other people see that, and they know they can't get in part of that. You can't become a Chinese person. You can't just go and become a Jew or whatever. Well, you could join the religion, but you'll still be an outsider. You know what I'm saying? So if we don't practice certain things amongst ourselves and other people see that and see our strength and then start respecting it from that perspective, it ain't gonna happen. People gotta see us respect ourselves. We can't be making songs. It's cool, when other people make it because they know without saying it, it's a joke. But when we make songs about, oh, my bitch, my hoe, and they take that as like funny, but they still down us. Other people, if a Jewish person made that same song, all the Jewish people in the community would know, and that's not none of our women, but that's all in fun, and they would take it as that. But for us, they would take it as, that's how they see our women shaking their booty. That's how they see us.
But you don't see Jewish women out there conduct themselves like that either.
There's too many women out there doing that. Period.
Well, we just think it's something that is cute or you getting attention from it, but really you look like a fool and you don't realize that you're just showing the world what kind of respect that you don't have for yourself.
Right. Like me personally, I love when a woman, does what she does. But when it comes, again, it's a black woman here. When I say black woman, I'm talking about people in the United States. And everybody else has a culture with it. Some, Caribbean.
There's a difference.
But I'm saying, how it's looked upon. You are targeted specifically out of everybody else on the planet. It shows in the movies, dialogue, all that. I mean, how you live in a country and you constantly being bombarded with words like minority. You know exactly what that means. Why you call that? They might as well call you a nigga. So that's what I'm saying. It's like you're constantly being disrespected, and here it's like it's just part of it's part of life to be called a minority. Should have been checking these people a long time ago. The fact that these people call themselves white against what? You could have called yourself anything else, American. Kylie, your show. So that's what I'm saying. Like they disrespect you from the gate. And you didn't say anything. You haven't been checking them. They go unchecked for centuries, and so of course they're gonna act like this. And then this is how we react.
Yeah, see, I talk to them more on a personal level on the chat. Now, if you go to that group chat that we in, you'll see a whole different term. You'll see a whole different relation between me and them. But for my show, as I explained before, it's different purposes. But I feel you though. That's another reason why I said. That's another reason why I told
about white people take both sides.
No, but that's another reason why I told you that I brought you here that day, and why I wanted somebody like you there that's gonna openly speak. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, exactly. And I don't care, like whatever y'all, like Fit was saying, don't say this, don't say that. I don't give a fuck. You can say whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? But it's just like let's do it on a certain term to where. Like I said, I don't just want to beat them by aggression or beat them by physically, because of course we know we can do that. I want to beat them intellectually. You know what I'm saying? And show like, nigga, all that bullshit y'all talking is bullshit. Then maybe I feel like me personally, I feel like that will help our people listen a little more once we can beat them on an intellectual level and not just physically. You know what I'm saying? Then
Facts.
we'll start thinking about like, well, damn, you fool white boy, like, okay, well, damn, you feel me? Not just like, oh, well, nigga, I beat your ass, because of course we know we beat their ass. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know that. That's a hope. You know.
What the thing with me is how I grew up. With my father, my grandfather. There's a certain thing like
Somebody, he is like loud in the back.
what is that, a TV? The
All right.
thing is, they need to learn, or well, not even learn. They need to understand from the gate how you carry yourself and present yourself. First of all, you're not gonna talk to me that fucking way because I'll fucking kill you. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll kill you. Like fuck, man, you fight. I don't want to fight you. I want to kill you. And what I'm saying is, like, kill your kids. And come for your fucking mom, your grand. They need to understand us from that perspective. And what I'm saying is the reason why is because we have nieces, nephews, or children. So I don't want to hear no stories about this little black boy was jacked up. Huh?
Now I feel what you're saying. That's why I definitely enjoy these conversations with you being here. You feel me? Because a lot of that shit I didn't even catch. Like I didn't even know what they was talking about till you was like, nigga, go look this up. Go look. And I went back like, oh, nigga, what the fuck? And then you know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
like I said on the chat, like nigga, we talk way different. That's how this shit started. Was debates between me and them. Me and them was going back and forth.
I grew up almost getting into fights all the time with black people over stuff like that because I'm trying to tell them, hey, why you let that white people? Oh, they just my friend. I'm like, you don't hear what they saying to you? You know, we're children, and I grew up a little different.
It's like, and half the time that white people don't even realize that shit.
It's like,
it's programmed into the system, and half the time the white people don't realize that shit either. That was the big thing. Like that shit I sent you the other day. I had them fighting back and forth. It's like 200 comments now on that post because I post some shit about why do whites act like they're not racist, but then they defend races. You know what I'm saying? They defend shit that we talk about as racism. You know what I'm saying? So they was going back and forth about that shit. But
I don't want to say that's a great war tactic because when me personally, when I'm around more than one white person or when I work with more than one white person, the first thing I do is split them up. That's the first thing you do.
They've been doing to
I don't
us.
care.
That's how they conquered us. Shit.
But see, that's what I'm saying. What I've been saying earlier. You got to develop codes of conduct. Dr. Neely Fuller and a couple other people where you on their ass instantly. You know what I'm saying? You on their ass instantly. You carry yourself a certain way to where they know you will kill them, or if there's some children around, black children or whatever around, and no adults is in there present, they're gonna tiptoe around them. That's how it needs to be. I don't care. They need to know off the bat. They need to know they need to know they see any black woman, here come a black man coming to kill you. Not just to confront you, not just to we coming to kill you.
I see. So I see what you're saying because I do have a white friend that she kind of like says little slick shit, and I'll be like, "No, bitch, that's racist. Like you can't say that. Like that's not okay." And she has her children are mixed, so they're half black, and I'll be like, "You know, you can't say that kind of stuff in front of them. You know, they're black. Like that's not okay." You know, or if you I think a white man asked her, "Do you like darkies?" And I was very offended. I'm like, if anybody asks me a kind of question like that, and my children are half black, there's a lot of offense taken there because, yeah, what do you mean? What is a darkie? What is that? You know, so she'll kind of like say little stuff or let little stuff slide, and I'm like, I'm not in agreement. And I'll let her know, like, that's not okay. I don't care if you grew up in the hood with all the black people. That's not okay. You can't say that. That's just not going to work. And I feel like you do have to check them. I feel like they've gone unchecked for years now, for centuries. Like we've been on that Martin Luther King when we should have been on Malcolm X. We need to check them.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So imagine. Like I said, okay. I was growing up.
Look. I'm gonna let you answer that. What you was about to say, because it kind of leads together, and I just want to include it with the next question, which is, should we be more tough on our loved ones? Should we be more like just tough love type of shit? But go ahead, I'll let you go from there and include it. Go ahead, Nebjoy.
Oh, yes. You said tough love? Yes. I grew up with tough love. I grew up with tough love. You know, if you can't keep up with the pack, you'll get left behind. You know what I'm saying? That's a very harsh, very tough thing to grow up with, but it helped me a lot. Like I've been in a lot of trenches. I'm in a trench now, and you get up. I have issues. I have depression issues. I have all type of things, but I've learned over time. You keep those things to yourself. You try to be as self sufficient as you can. You try to be around other people that are self sufficient. They get their own money, not just go to a job or whatever, which is cool. Get your money however you get it. But the truth is, the more independent, even like how I talk, I've been able to talk this way because I made my money independently per se. And you can't speak like that because nobody's going to hire you. If you try to get a job with a white man, nobody's going to hire you. Nobody's going to hire you unless you have a special skill, which what I had at the time too. Still have a special skill set to where people need you, and they got to constantly, you're in that field, especially in the field of science and technology and things like that. So that's another thing. It's hard to with that tough love. It really is tough because it's hard to date, even a black woman. I'm quite sure for, what I'm saying, because you have to be very disciplined. Got to be financially independent per se, and it's a lot of things go with that. And I think that was you. Maybe that wasn't you, but I think we talked about it one time. Like, there's no hero. Like, I'm not saying I'm a hero, and people, but a hero don't get the parade. A conscious person, a warrior don't get a parade. They get a coffin and a spear. You know what I'm saying? So they get praised while they're alive for a second, but that day in battle that they die, nobody even know who they are or what they're doing. So yeah, we should be tougher. Yeah, very tough.
Yeah.
It builds character.
What's
it
up?
builds character. We do need to be tougher, and I say that because I'm observing young boys that are growing up. They just seem like they're just getting a little
Pussyfied.
Yeah, pussyfied over time, and it's just like, what happened? Like, what? I don't know. I just see just younger boys these days. It's just a little. They just run and cry to mom, and it doesn't look like they can solve things. And I'm just wondering, when you're an adult and you're a man and you have to, be the lead of your household, how are you going to do it if if you didn't have that tough love? If mommy always, babied you, basically. I see a lot of babying with our black boys.
We don't now today. You don't grow up till you're about 30 or 40, dude. A 20-year-old was a 20-year-old. That was a grown man. A 15-year-old back in the day was a grown man. Now it's
12.
like yeah, exactly. You toward 13, so it's like now a person who's 30 and 40 years old is really still like 18. The mindset again goes back to the mindset, and to me, it's that Yankee mindset. You can go to another country or even right outside the United States, right in the islands, and you can see children, it's not like, oh, that's a little boy, they should go play, or that's a little girl, they should go play. No, I don't give a damn if you're 2 or you're 5. You have your mom out there, getting yams or whatever she's doing, or grandmama, whoever. Like you have a part in your community, period. So now today it's like, oh, they're kids, let them be kids, and you're pussy. They pussyfy the shit out of children now, and it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is true. We don't grow up till.
Was you done?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm just saying I agree with him. Yeah, it is true. We don't grow up till we're 30, because we really don't know how to be on our own. Like I see it in the millennial generation. We don't know how to do a lot on our own. We're very dependent on still parents to this day. I see a lot of us still functioning with literally with bills, everything.
I think it's because we lack the knowledge. Like, we don't teach our children about being financial ready to go out in this world and take care of your bills, get a place to stay. We're not teaching our kids that. They don't know anything about that. We'll put our kids out. 18, you out the door, you got to go. But
Right.
you'll see other people, they don't do that. Their kids can stay there. They're going to teach them about credit. They're going to help them build their credit.
Right.
Excuse my puppy, y'all. See.
He's getting his consciousness in.
But I think we just have to teach our kids that. Like, I lived in Germany 4.5 years. Their kids are very independent. They walk to school, 5 years old, walking by themselves to school. They graduate in high school at 16. They are going when they in high school. They go to school for what their field is going to be in. So that's what they're trying to learn. We don't do that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a good point right there. Yeah, that's a big point. I was thinking about that because I hate the way our school system is set up, and as far as future, like tonight's topic is the future. Like it would definitely be better if we was more educated to be able to teach our own, like homeschool our children and teach them what we feel they need to be learning. But we have to make sure that we are educated enough to be able to do that. Don't just keep them home and you don't know shit.
That's the point. That's the point, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of people are not intellectual and they're not educated enough to even teach their kids. So when it comes down to talking about this, it's like, it's and
it's a dangerous topic. Yeah.
yeah. It's a dangerous topic, and those who are educated, who enough to teach their children at home, I can use myself kind of as an example. Then your child has to go out into the world and deal with the other uneducated kids, though.
Yeah,
and now
you gotta know both sides. Yeah,
man. And so me growing up, that was so harsh. That was so harsh because you got to choose between having friends and then being logical. And then at a certain point in time, those times like, I don't give a fuck about having friends, and then those points like, oh, I need those friends, so you have to juggle. But I'm back, of course, you remember your old self, and you're like, I don't need nobody, I don't need, But then at the same time, it's like, no, you have to be social, you have to be cordial with people. You may become a little insane, but about little insane, there's no such thing as a little insane. Either you are or you aren't. But you know what I'm saying. You have to make a choice, and then it's cold because you have to make a choice for your child if you are teaching your kids or whatever, because it's like they're gonna, what's the word, they're gonna be they're gonna be treated different.
Yeah.
They're gonna be treated different. What's the word? They're gonna be ostracized. You gotta make that choice before your child.
Yeah, they're gonna be outside of that inner circle. Period.
So yeah, and it's crazy because that's the choice you have to already make for your child. Like they're going to be different. They're going to speak different, walk different. But then there's that part of you, or it should just be you. Period. Where like culturally, you don't give a fuck because you raised your child to be yours, not everybody.
So, Gina, let me ask you, for as far as improving our future as Black people, what's something we could do next?
To improve us, I think we just need to start teaching our kids about
I mean more from a personal perspective, not as in general, because we already did that in general.
Okay, so
more personal. What's something you could do, or
for
we
me,
could
I
do?
want to, For me, I think it would be something that I would like to do is just be able to teach kids about how to run a business. Like if it's just like, okay, you got this lemonade stand, let's figure out, okay, we're gonna do this, but when you make the money, do you just spend the money, you save the money, or should we spend the money on getting more stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like to just teach them how to basically to reinvest back into yourself so you can keep making that money. Like last year we were like selling plates, like we just hustled all summer and sell plates. So my son saw that, so then he was like, well, mommy, I want a lemonade stand, I want a business, I want to sell this and I want to do that. So it's like your kids,
they calling police on people for lemonade stands now. So.
Right, you just gotta make sure you get your permit.
No, go ahead.
But you just gotta basically just teach our kids. Like I didn't know anything when I was 19. I done messed up my credit. I didn't know what I was doing. Nobody ever told me about that. So then I don't want my kids to be like that. When they turn 18, I want them to already have some kind of credit established. Let's get you established. Let's get you started. Let's teach you about owning land, because I think that's the most important thing that we probably can do. You need to own your land. Everybody's buying houses, but the house that your land is going, you don't own that. So if they tell you got to move, you got to go. take your house, sell it, do whatever you gotta do, but you gotta go. So I think we just need to. I want to teach my kids that. I want something for my kids. I don't want to leave this earth and my descendants won't have anything. If my dad leaves today, I don't have anything, you know.
Generational wealth, like Nabjari said.
That's kind of Well, I'm just adding to what she's saying, but you have to create that. You have to create that basket. Someone has to start it or do it. That generational wealth. That's what she's building or talking about building. You need that, or else, like you were saying earlier, are we going to make it? We're not going to make it without that. That's one of the things we won't make it without.
That residual income. You need that money that makes itself. That money that works for itself. So you ain't got to spend time wondering how you're going to pay your light bill.
Right.
Or working more than you can even spend time with your family.
And your kids too. So they ain't got to worry about their whole life spending, damn, I got to go through 12 years of school so I can make sure I get a job at McDonald's.
Right. Exactly. And that goes back to like the couple, like when you're a couple or whatever, when you talk about this black man and black woman, can they make it or whatever. But that's the thing about it. It's like, if your finance is not in order, there's going to be problems, period.
Right. You pretty much in a couple, I think you just got to be on one accord. Like, both of you guys have to have that, like, hustle mentality. Like, we got to get it. Like, this, we're trying to build. Some people are just, like, complacent. Or this is the life we live, but they're not thinking about, well, let's build for the future. What are we going to have? Or how can I not, I can make this amount of money, but I only work 2 days a week. But I have the rest of the time for my kids and to be with my family. That's what I'm kind of looking for. Like, I don't want to be slaving for this, for what? And I don't have any time with my kids.
Right. And as men, I want to say as a man or men, and when I was talking about being independently, having an income, it's like, that's important. Like, in a relationship, that should be one of the main goals and focuses, whether you stay together or you together or not, is you, as a man, culturally for me, if you haven't taught your woman anything financially or, about money, that's a big problem. You know what I'm saying? That's a responsibility. And that's something we don't do. All we do is pretty much fuck and break up. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when you leave a relationship or when you go into a relationship, there should be something that you should take from it. And one of those things should be finances. Something about you learn of your, you learn something new about taxation or receiving a tax break certificate and things like that in your state, and going around paying for, how to get around paying for taxes for certain goods and services, about things when you're passing it to another person, and, and things like that. Like, we need to learn a lot about that. And I think that should be part of the conduct you have in your culture when you're dating. Cultures have that. I'm just going to tell you that now.
Yeah,
You meet a Nigerian,
Jews, they have it.
I ain't going to say certain type of Mexicans. Most Mexicans, they different. They kind of like let their woman stay at home or whatever. But if you meet certain culture or people of certain culture, especially Chinese and stuff like that, on that money level, that's what is done. And that's why you see them. You can see that's why you can see a foreign person come here and make it right off the bat. They already have that code of conduct. They're already kind of thrifty. And as a Yankee, as an American, like, you spend your money on everything. You find some excuse to throw it away. But them, they don't give a fuck. They're going to wear that same pair of pants, those socks and shoes, and still look nice, and, save hell amount of money. They can make $20,000 a year, and they'll probably save 40% of it.
So,
what up, though? I am Rama, Holly, Cautious, Kali. Welcome back to another edition of Say That. This is the spot to keep it real. This is the spot to speak on how you truly feel. Do you root for the underdog? Are you the underdog? We'll say that. You don't have to be a superstar nor a celebrity. We can talk past or longevity. If you got something to say, you can say it here. All we ask is keep it true and make sure your words come from you. Basically, in other words, be ready to back your shit. Now let's take a trip, and remember, it's only one thing better than watching the rise, and that's being a part of the rise. So join us, speak your mind, Stop any and all contributions to the problem and be the solution. Hey, say that. Stay fresh, stay blessed, and watch the rise, family.